Hey everyone, talking about longevity and projection, and specifically, for example, at the end of most videos, I will say what type of longevity or projection the scent that I'm talking about has. Wanted to clarify where I'm getting that from because I'm almost never going off of just my own experience. The only time that would be the case is if it's a really rare small fragrance that almost no one else has tried, like a super small indie one, and I can't find any other reference to it. Then, yeah, I'll mention what it was like for me. But other than that, it can be so subjective that I'm not just going to go off of, oh, this was my personal experience, because skin chemistry can make a big difference. Even just on clothes, it can make a big difference depending on the exact, even like material, the person, the temperature, so many different things. So whenever I am saying that, it is always based on looking at fragrance database sites, looking at other people's reviews. There's never a time, again, unless it's like a really tiny indie brand scent that I can't find any other info on, when I'm not basing it on looking at other stuff. So first of all, that's where it's coming from. For example, sites like Fragrantica, Base Notes, Parfumo, looking at what people will rate it for out of like hundreds of averages to get to that information. So sometimes people will comment saying like, this doesn't have good longevity, if I said it had good longevity or something, and it's like, everybody has something different, but just please know that I'm never lying about it, at least. Like, there's never a time when I'm trying to hype something up and claim that it does for any dishonest reason. It's always based on seeing what other people on average are rating it at and testing it myself and stuff. There's never anything going on of trying to lie about that. Two, I kind of want to go over the definition of what low, moderate versus good longevity and projection are. So low longevity would be considered if it basically, say, especially completely disappears from being able to smell it in under 2 hours. That would be, there's rare cases with something like, include as much as I love it, 4711 cologne, where even in like 15 minutes it might disappear. But usually that's pretty rare. And it would be considered like low longevity if, say, like it lasts like 2 hours and then you can barely smell it after that. Moderate longevity would be about 3 to 6 hours. And there's a lot of people who would consider 3 hours very, very low. But usually when you could call it moderate, if it's like 3 hours, pretty decent, you can still smell it, and then it just kind of starts to fade, versus like if it's like 3 hours and completely drops off, maybe you can consider that low. Good longevity would be kind of anything 6 to 7 hours and above. Most people aren't going to say, oh, it has amazing longevity just because it has 6 hours, but that's also not generally considered bad. So that's starting to get towards the good end if it's like 7 and above. Stuff that has like 10 plus hours of longevity is considered definitely way above average. Great longevity in general, and there's some things you'll even get like 24 plus hours of longevity for. Projection, low would be if it, skin scent, basically if you have to smell like that basically to actually smell the thing. And that doesn't mean that that's what the projection really is, because you can go nose blind to it, where your nose just kind of recognizes it and sort of filters it out and stuff like that. And people do that with different scents without meaning to. So just because you can't smell it from that far away doesn't mean that the projection is actually that low, but just in terms of a general definition, if no one can smell it from further than just like really close, that's low projection. Moderate would be kind of considered within arm's length. So, no one's going to smell you from very far away, but if they're like standing pretty close to you, they could smell it. Strong would be like they can smell you from like 6 feet away, for example. And major projection would be like kind of room filling, essentially. So hope that helps clear some stuff up about both where I'm getting that info from, where I say what kind of projection or longevity it has, and also kind of what those things actually mean as well. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know.